Hey everybody, how's everyone doing today? To the listeners who have returned for part 2 of the Sugar Chronicles, welcome back! And to any new listeners, thanks for joining us. We always like to have the new listeners upon us, so thank you. Today's podcast is brought to you from sunny Calgary, Alberta. Slightly warming out of the deep freeze. Please, spring be on the way. Please, please. Preparation for this broadcast was done by candlelight during International Earth Hour. No electronic devices were used during this time. Yay for us! So, our first and inaugural podcast was an intro to the pod life. Then we got into the evils of sugar. So, how is it possible that something so delicious and fabulous and comforting and addicting can be so terrible and so bad? Sugar is in everything, almost. It's in hidden places we never even imagined. Read your labels, people. I've started reading mine, and wow, what a shock. Trust me, I'm making a more conscious effort to read the labels. Not that that's helping me yet, but at least it's a step forward, right? Reading the labels. Depending on my urgency and the nature of my then current fix, I might F reading any labels or lock the wealth of knowledge I have in my brain about the dangers of sugar into the cranial vault of denial. The urgency is that intense, the burning. It's just, I have to have it right now, and it doesn't matter what I'm feeding my body. This week has been another challenging one, my friends. I've gained a few successes this week. Well, a few. And I'd like to take credit and say that it was my own will and my own desire, but unfortunately it's more just circumstance. So let's review this past week. And please, people, again, I urge you to please comment, suggest, advice, anything, please. So first, my first success this week, and I am proud of this one. I made a vow to not stop at Starbucks or Tim Hortons for coffee on the way to work. Not only does this save me a few bucks, yay, who doesn't like to save a few dollars? But more importantly, it alleviates that temptation, the taste, the burning desire to supplement my Java injection with a sinful snack. Darn you, colorful butterfly cookies, or oat fudge bar from Starbucks, or a banana nut muffin, or birthday cake Timbits from Tim's. Do I superficially convince myself it's okay to have those? Heck yeah, of course I do. How? Well, come on. Oat fudge bar for breakfast? No problem. Oats or oatmeal, right? Oatmeal's healthy. Banana nut muffin, that's super healthy, right? Banana, nuts, come on, double score on the healthy scale. At this moment, I can't even really think of the justification I managed to come up for the cookie or the Timbits, but somehow I'm quite an expert in justifying it to myself. You know, I guess an addict will always find justification. So far, I have successfully managed to stay away from the morning coffee stops. I consider that a huge success. Now, back to the rest of the well laid out plan. Healthy meals, snacks, celery, nuts, apples, all prepped. Even 2 office meeting lunches, I stick with salads, and then once again, the addict demon inside of me takes over. So let's take a tab on how I managed to single-handedly self-sabotage this week. Ready? Because it's kind of gross. Okay, first of all, cinnamon biscuits. Yes, well, they were homemade, and there's no sugar in the biscuit dough itself. Thumbs up. I conveniently give those beauties a pass with brown sugar, because somehow that's better than white. Pizza, not homemade, but ordered for delivery. And what did it come with? Curly fries. Oh, brother. Oh, have I mentioned my store-bought stash of sugar cookies in the freezer? Yep. Oh, yeah. And I figured, okay, well, if I put them in the freezer and only dig in once in a while as a treat, that's okay. Yeah, okay. My hidden stash. So as we progress through the week, the sugar cookie feast continues, mixed with a spritz cookie dipped in chocolate. Can you see where this is going? Then someone brought Girl Guide cookies into the office, chocolate mint. Okay, I don't even really like chocolate mint, but somehow I managed to devour lots of those puppies. I just ate them anyways because, you know, it's a fix. And I knew they were in the kitchen and they just kept calling me. As my sugar-infested week continues, more cinnamon biscuits, more than my fair share of the Girl Guide cookies, a pit stop at a bakery on a site tour for work for a lemon meringue tart. Okay, I'm guessing that there's no surprise to any of the listeners how I justified that to myself. Yeah, the lemon. Then I followed it up with homemade puffed wheat square and Dad's oatmeal cookies. Have I grossed you out yet, listeners? As I speak this out loud, I'm grossed out. But wait, I'm not even done yet. Yikes. I cannot be trusted alone in the grocery store. I know that, but I stopped in on Friday because I didn't have lunch. Bad move. Bad move. Big mistake. But I thought, okay, I can do this. I had it in my head, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna buy a pre-made salad, or greens at least, to make my own salad. So once again, I managed to justify my purchases. For the arugula, tomato, and milk that I bought, I counteracted it with pie, Miss Vicky's potato chips, and goodies. Seriously. So yeah, so much for all my planning last week. I haven't been for acupuncture for almost a month. I mentioned that in the first podcast, that is my latest try in curing this sugar sensation. So I decided to go back this week. Dr. Tanya is as baffled as I am. We both agree, I know better. I'm smarter than that. I know what I should and shouldn't do. But we agree there's a serious problem here. So listeners, I can't be alone in this. Is there anyone out there with tips, tricks, advice? I've got my listening ears on. I'm frustrated and angry with myself. I know better. I'm smarter than this, or so I thought. So why? Why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep sabotaging myself? Me. That's who I'm hurting. Just me. Oh, it's too bad there wasn't a way to see the filth inside my body. As Dr. Tanya explained it to me, to put it into perspective, imagine not bathing for several weeks. Think of how dirty and grubby and grimy and gross you'd feel. That's what I've been doing to the inside of my body. If only I could actually see it for myself, maybe that just might frighten me into going cold turkey. I don't know. Advice, people. I'm waiting. So, there's always another tomorrow. That's what I tell myself. The reality is, tomorrow never comes. We all know that. So let's talk about the physical effects of what I've been doing. So this hasn't been going on forever, the physical effects, I mean. I've just started noticing it probably in the last year to year and a half, or maybe I've started paying more attention. Maybe that's what it is. So first and most obvious is bloating. Yep, this usually happens pretty instantaneously. Ironically, it certainly doesn't subside that quickly. It usually takes at least half a day, but then again, I don't wait long enough to really truly see how long it takes. Believe me, I'm reaching for the next fix in, seconds. Then the next thing is swelling. This one I've really noticed a lot lately, and it's kind of scary. It's scary, but probably not scary enough, obviously, to make me stop what I'm doing. The swelling, the first part of the swelling that I feel is usually in my face. It's around my eyelids. I can feel it when I blink. It's kind of like I've been crying for hours, that point where you get where your eyelids are so swollen and you can feel when you're blinking that they're tight and hard to close. And then the next place I feel it and get tight is usually around my ears. I know, it's so weird, but it starts to fan out from my ears towards my cheeks, and I can feel it's tight. And depending on the intensity of the sugar fix, my sides of my face and my cheeks and down to my jawline actually go numb. Yeah. And then the other sensitive area is in my jaw, and I can feel that it gets really tight and it'll be hard to chew. You know, if I try to bite into an apple or chew a piece of gum, I definitely feel it. Very weird and wild, hey? Then there's the skin irritations. That's the next one. So some days, and again, depending on the intensity of the latest sugar fix, itchy little red fiery dots in various areas on my body, but mostly on my torso, upper legs, and in my scalp. And itchy, and they're nasty little tiny red things. You can hardly even see them, but they're there and they're little balls of fire. Then we've got the lovely hair loss. And this is another telltale sign of the sugar bender and the intensity of it. When it's hair wash day, the amounts and the size of the lost wads, I'm going to call them wads, are indicative of how much sugar consumption has led up to hair wash day. It's frightening sometimes. I'm surprised I'm not bald. Then we've got weight gain. Luckily and thankfully, knock on wood, to date, I have not had any issues really with weight gain. I'm pretty normal for my size and build, but I do wonder if I was more conscious and cut out the sugar. If there was a way for me to go cold turkey, I would. What would my weight be like? Interesting thought. Too bad we couldn't have a crystal ball and push that into the future so we could see that. And then energy. So yes, we all know that sugar gives us a quick energy boost and then we drop quickly. But what I've noticed lately is that the energy boost is even shorter lived now than it used to be. I don't know really if it's because I've maybe changed the type of sugar consumption. Not that I've made it any better, but just, you know, depending on what it is, maybe that's why. But I certainly do not get the long fixes and the longer spouts of energy. It's like super blink and the energy level is gone, and then I crash, and when I do, I crash hard. And I have found on some days, like on a weekend, you know, if I get up and do a few things and then have breakfast, and if breakfast is, you know, a sugar fest like cinnamon biscuits or maybe a store-bought cinnamon roll, I'm ready for a nap by 10:30. And usually on work days, because I have to keep going all day, I don't have a choice. By the time I get home, I'm ready for a nap. And that's pretty bad. So I'm looking for help, I'm looking for suggestions, I'm looking for something. And I know what the answer is, I just don't know how to do it. I don't know how to wrap my head around it. I don't know how to get there. And I need some suggestions. As I said, I'm sure I'm not the only one out there who has had this issue or is going through this issue. Hey people, come on, maybe we can band together and figure this out and try to get this addict at this end through the hard processes. So as I look back on last week, while I did have some successes, and I'm trying to give myself credit for that, I'm still caught in a deep spiraling vat of candy floss and saltwater taffy. And I'd like to get out, my listeners. I hope you'll choose to stay with me on my continuing journey of sugar addiction madness. One step at a time, and this is going to be a journey for sure. A difficult one, obviously, but I'm bound and determined to follow through and figure this out, and hopefully along the way maybe I can help some other people, and you know, we can get the word out there about how bad sugar is. I've been watching some documentaries and reading up a lot on all the places that sugar is hidden and what it does to the body and the mind. Brain fog, there's another one. Some days it's like I can't remember anything, or someone will be talking to me and I'm looking at them, but the cogs are turning extra slow, almost backwards, and it's like, huh? And they'll kind of look at me like, hello, are you listening? So that's another one. And the things that I've been reading, that's a very huge result of a lot of sugar intake. So I'm trying to pay attention to all of these things and apply it to my own body, and make mental notes or notes of how I'm feeling, and hopefully, again, maybe I'll hit rock bottom one more time, and that will be the last time that I hit rock bottom that'll actually make me smart enough to get out of this downward spiral that I'm in. So thank you for tuning in to episode 2. Join me in 2 weeks' time for more Sugar Chronicles, or perhaps we will talk about something else as mentioned in episode 1 of the Pod Life. There is so much more to talk about, my friends, so much more, and I'd love some suggestions. Please do comment in the comment section. Give us a like, subscribe. I'd love it if you'd subscribe. Please tell others, and we will be going on Mondays at 7 p.m. MST, that's Mountain Standard Time, and for now, once every 2 weeks. And thanks again, and I'm looking forward to the journey, and I hope you'll stay with me. And again, please, comments, help, suggestions, I'm asking, I'm begging. Thank you.